You're broke. What should you do? Guys, my name is Brian Waldron. By the age of 26, I did $3.5 million with my event space business. Now we run the #1 event space consulting program in the country, showing our clients how to find, fund, and fill their own event space. I make these videos to talk about business and showcase what we do, how we do it, and basically inspire others to jump out on faith. If you are broke, one of the #1 things that you want to do is, besides obviously acknowledge that you're broke, because acknowledgement is very, very key here. The first thing that you want to go ahead and do is get a job. Now, I know this might be contrary. I know this might be anti-hustle culture. Like, wait, but I thought people would tell me to start a business. Yes, I would love for you to start a business, but you can't start a business without no money or without getting extremely, extremely creative. But I would love for you to have at least some money so far. Because if you're broke, you need money for rent, bills, food, things of that nature, right? So the #1 thing I want you to do is go and get a job. Now, again, I know a lot of people look at jobs like, oh, that's taboo. I thought it was year for business, this, that, and the third. Your job is your first investor. Before I started BK Event Spaces and got into event spaces, I was a server, and the way I was able to get my first event space up and running is that I saved up all my money for a year from my job, saved up $30,000, and was able to put that down and get my first event space business going. Now, I would not have been able to do that without my job. So that's #1, and that's the first step. #2, invest in a sales position. Now, you can have your job, so you can have your sales position on the side, but I 100% encourage you. Why? Because sales is in every business. Sales was in my event space business, sales was in Airbnb, sales is in real estate, sales is in coaching, sales is in every business. You must learn how to sell. When I was a server, I obviously had to sell. We had to sell bottles of wine, we had to sell bigger ticket items, whatever the case may be. Those skills, I cannot help but imagine that those skills translated later into my business with my event spaces, because if I can go and sell $200 bottles of wine, I can sell $2,500, $3,500, $4,500 event packages. So you really want to invest in that sales position while you're at your job or even after the job, because that's going to translate over to how you're going to sell your business. #3, go for reps. You cannot get good at anything without putting in the hours. One of the biggest things when I was serving, and honestly, like, I think I would honestly make my kids get a server job, because those skills that you learn in serving are ridiculous, right? But kind of to backtrack a little bit, when I got my first job as a server, I had actually lied and said that I was a server at my last restaurant, when actually I was just really a host. But I knew they wouldn't give me a shot unless I said I had server experience. So when I got on the floor as a server, I had to learn really, really quickly what it was to be an actual server. Now, the good thing is that I was watching other servers at my last job, and I kind of picked it up, and I knew I'd be great at it. Again, like, don't do anything unless you have some type of base skill set, right? But one of the biggest things that I did to get good was I picked up a lot of shifts, and I picked up a lot of hacks that made me a better server. Now, obviously, they're not gonna give you more shifts if you're not good, but I was picking up any shift that I could. If anybody was giving up shifts, if anybody didn't wanna work their shift, I would be the first person to pick it up. Whether it's a morning shift, afternoon shift, evening shift, overnight shift, whatever the case may be, I would pick it up because I wanted to get those reps in and become a better and better and better server. Now, I can honestly say I was probably, if not one of the best servers at that restaurant, only because I took the time to put in the hours, pick up those shifts, and learn and get better and better. Faster and faster, more efficient and more efficient. #4, fix your credit. There's that credit thing again, fix your credit. I've got a bunch of other videos talking about credit and whatnot, but one of the biggest things I learned about credit is that I made the mistake of not learning about credit earlier on. In my first business, BK Event Spaces, I opened up my first location, like I mentioned, with my own cash. I saved up $30,000 as a server, used that to go and get my first event space. But by the second event space, I was just like, wait, hold on, maybe I could use somebody else's money. And at that point, what I wanted to do is I wanted to make sure I can utilize the credit available to me or in other people's money to go ahead and take that and invest into that business. Because think about it, if I could take somebody else's $30,000 and keep mine, I could use my $30,000 in a bank statement as a flex to the bank and get more money. And especially if I know that I'm gonna go ahead and get the money right back, it's not a risk to me. It's an investment. #5, now this is the deciding factor, right? Do you stick with what you're doing and do more, or invest into another business? Now, me, I decided to go with another business, right? Now, this is a pivotal decision. I could have went to another restaurant, I could have got paid more as a server, maybe even open up my own restaurant with the skills I had, but I knew that working as an event space, working with another event space owner, that this is something that I really wanted to do. I love the idea of helping people with their events, their bridal showers, their birthday parties, their baby showers, their wedding receptions, and they're getting to use my facility, so I get to be part of the greatest moments in these people's lives. I knew I wanted to make that pivotal decision. I knew I didn't want to be a server forever, and plus I also got fired, so that kind of moved things along for me. But it didn't change anything, it just accelerated the speed in which I went and jumped out on faith into my business. Guys, my name is Brian Waldron. I make these videos just to encourage everybody to just jump out on faith and do that business that's been kind of like in their head for the longest time. Definitely make sure you tap in, drop me a subscribe, drop me a like, drop me a comment, and I'll see you in the next video. Let's get it, let's go.